Good morning, class. I am Miss Rachel Zareza, or you can call me Ma'am Rachel. So, please arrange your chairs. And before we proceed to our topic, who wants to lead the prayer? Yes, Miss Eden. Okay, you lead the prayer. Okay, thank you. Next, please check the attendance. How many absent and how many absent? Huh? The example of alliteration is Peter picked a peck of pickled peppers. Sounds with P. Alliteration repeats the repeating sounds, not letter. Alliteration isn't just about repeated letters, it's about repeated sound. For example, crooks conspire with the king. This example is an alliteration because the C and K produce the same sound even though they are different letters. Alliteration, first syllables, and stress syllables. Some people believe that alliteration occurs whenever the repeating sound occurs in the first syllable of the word, while others argue that alliteration only occurs when the sound occurs on stress or emphasized syllable. Holding these two separate views on alliteration would disagree on whether the following two examples are alliteration. Dan declares that he deserved to debate. Crooks conspire with the unkind king. In the first example, the D sound clearly occurs in the first syllable of each word, but in three of the word it occurs on an unstressed syllables. Declares, deserves, debate. In the second example, it occurs in the second sound syllables of unkind, but the second syllable is the stressed one, unkind. So which side is right? The short answer is the both definition of alliteration are currently accepted, but not so long ago. Only the stressed syllable version of alliteration was considered legitimate. Even today, many people who really care about alliteration, poets for instance, would insist that the stressed syllable viewpoint is correct. Vowels can alliterate. While alliteration nowadays most often refers to repetition of the sound of consonant, vowels can alliterate. For example, American alliteration is alliterative that said open octagon isn't really alliterated because the O makes different sound in those two words. Consonant clusters affect alliteration. Alliteration strictures may contest that the best use of alliteration takes into consider how certain combination of consonant affect resulting sounds. For instance, they might argue that the example, some speed with skill through the storm, is not alliterative because the clusters of SP, SK, and ST have their own distinct sound and therefore don't alliterate with each other or with a single S. This is not a hard and fast rule by a long shot, and when we have an example below from none other than Charles Dickens that actually does alliterate with ST and SP, but the way that consonant clusters can affect the degree of alliteration is still worth knowing about. Alliteration versus consonant versus assonant. These are two close relatives of alliteration, both of which are often confused with each other, and with alliteration itself, they are consonant and assonant. For example, consonant is the repetition and similar consonant sound across several words that syllables. So, for example, in the sentence, a truck full of unlucky ducks carried into the aqueduct. The hard K consonant sounds doesn't just occur on stress or first syllables, making this an example of consonant but not alliteration. Assonant is exactly the same consonant but with vowel sound instead of consonant sounds. An example of assonant is the O sounds in the sentence, the smooth balloon flew up and blew up when it hit the roof. Alliteration example. Alliteration appears all over the place. It is used every often in lyrical poetry and appears regularly in vowels, plays, novels, plays, and other literature. It also very common in more commercial writing such as marketing taglines, brand name, and even in naming superheroes. Alliteration example in literature. Alliteration in the prologue to Romeo and Juliet. This is an example from line 5 to 6 of the prologue of Romeo and Juliet has two set of alliteration, one with F sound and one with I sounds. From forth the fatal ions of these two foes, a pair of star-crossed lovers take their life. Next, alliteration in Robert Frost's Birches. I'd like to go by climbing a birch tree and climb black branches up a snow-white trunk toward heaven till the tree could bear no more but dipped its top and set me down again. That would be good both going and coming back. One could do worse than be a swinger of breeches. Next, a literature example in marketing. Maybe she's born with it, maybe it's Maybelline. Sneakers satisfies. Be all that you can be. Find your future in the army. Alliteration is also a tool that many companies use in their branding so that their name roll off the tongue most or more easily and stick into your head. For example is Best Buy, Canon camera, Krispy Kreme, Kit Kat, Bed, Bath, and beyond. Alliteration example in superheroes. For example is Bruce Banner or Banner, Clark Kent, Green Goblin, J. Jonah Jameson, Jessica Jones, Louis Lane, Silver Surfer, Stephen Strange, Teen Titans, The Fantastic Four, Wade Wilson, Wonder Woman. Alliteration in song lyrics. Alliteration in Hello by Adele. I've forgotten how it felt before the word fell at our feet. Next is alliteration in It's Also Out. It's Alright Ma, I'm Only Bleeding by Bob Dylan. He not busy being born is busy dying. Alliteration in Rap God by Eminem. So I wanna make sure somewhere in this chicken scratch I scribble and doodle enough rhythms to maybe try to help get some people through to times, but I gotta keep a few punchlines just in case, cause even you're unsigned, rappers are hungry looking at me like it's lunchtime. Next, why do writer use alliteration? Writer use alliteration with its emphasis on sound and rhythm for variety of different reasons. First is to enhance the beauty of the writing. Second, to emphasize particular phrases or feelings. Third, to use the sound they repeat, a soft S or a hard T, for instance, to mirror the ideas or event or feelings being described. Fourth is to make writing feel merry, musical, and mighty memorable. Okay. For groupies, kindly group into two, and you will do a task how to write alliteration, and I will give the letter that will you do sentences, and then I will check your activity when you are done. Lastly, your assignment is advanced reading about simile. Okay? Okay, you can